have already added the Chenille-It to the top part of this We Can Fly panel of Peter Pan so that you can see what it looks like when it's stitched in place. And then when we get down to the clouds, I will do some close-ups and let you see just exactly how I laid this down. But you can see on the sails how it is stitched down, and the gray is behind the white. So you can see the detail. I have left little spaces so that you can see the feet on some of the characters. When that blooms, you'll still be able to see the detail of their feet, but the detail of the chenille will still be on the quilt. This is such a fun panel to make, and we're going to take you step by step through how to add all the chenille, quilt it, and finish your quilt. I'm adding the white cloud Chenille-It to the We Can Fly panel and showing you how this is placed on the quilt. I'm doing the white clouds first, working from the back to the front. And to make it easier when I get to my machine, I'm going to lay it down with a glue stick first. And I'm just going to apply some glue to these lines, again working from the back to the front on this. It's perfect bias, so I can go around, especially around these small. And this panel is like a paint by number. I'm going to be adding Chenille-It to all the black lines. These black lines are my guide to where the chenille needs to go. So when the chenille is in place and it's washed and dried, you won't see any black lines on this quilt. The swirls, you have to take just a little more time to shape those around and turn them just a little bit at a time. You're working with perfect bias. So you can see as I cover up these black lines how that changes the look of the panel. It's just going to be the fabric, the background fabric that you're going to see, and the chenille. And we'll be stitching down the center of the tape to get that into place. I've got one more little line right there that isn't covered up, so I'll put a little tape, little glue there, add the tape, and that section is ready to stitch down. After the Chenille-It has been glued into place, it's stitched down, simply stitched down the center of the tape with a shortened stitch length. You can see on the right where I've stitched these curved areas down. I'm working again from the back to the front, and as I'm finishing this last section of clouds, white part of the clouds, you can see how that's just stitched down the center of the tape. So easy and so fast. And once this chenille is stitched in place, the black lines go away and you're left seeing just the texture and the outline detail of all the different parts of this panel. Now we're working on the clouds. The ship is complete. And you can see if you run out of a piece of tape, you just lap it over. Continue stitching down the center of the tape. After this is all completely stitched and washed, it will fluff up. It doesn't even matter if you have matching thread colors. I'm using just an off-white thread to stitch down all the chenille. And then you're ready to move on to the next area. We're working on the clouds from back to the front, from what you visually see in the background to the front. And so we've done the white clouds on the very top. Now we're working on the clouds on the bottom. And we've done the very lowest clouds. Now all the clouds are being done with the gray Chenille-It, and we're just covering the black lines. You're going to see the contrast of the different colors of fabric behind them after it's washed. But so now we're going to do this. This is the next area that's behind. We'll do that next. And then the very last area to have the chenille applied will be these really large swirls on the top, and you can see where these are on top of the bottom clouds and on top of the white clouds. Again, we're applying the glue to the ones that are behind first. That will be these lower swirls. You can't have too many glue sticks. These are going to make adding the chenille so easy and fast. I've worked my way down to the bottom of the quilt. The ship is finished. The clouds, all you can see, the chenille is on all of the clouds. I've added the gray 3/8 to the houses, starting from the back to the front. So this back detail is all done, and now I'm just, and the gray in the front is done. I'm just adding the black 3/8 to the rooftops, using the water-soluble glue stick. Apply that to the lines. Then I can go back and do this final detail adding the 3/8 on the roof lines. Then I will go back and stitch down the center of that tape. Until all the roofs have that final outline. When this is washed and dried, these houses are really going to stand out and have a lot of dimension.
Once all of your Chenille-It has been added, you can quilt as desired. If you are using an edge-to-edge E2E, be sure your pantograph isn't too dense. By selecting a more open design, you can stitch right over the Chenille-It and it will bloom beautifully. Otherwise, custom quilting and working around the Chenille-It is another option. Once quilted, add your preferred binding. Then wash and dry your quilt to bloom. Wash in a cold water cycle. If your machine doesn't have a center agitator, add a few towels or even a pair of sneakers to help loosen the fibers. Then dry on medium heat until completely dry.